Hello world, I'm Chris Perillo and you're watching another live Q&A with you and me. Very happy to do just this for you as I do every single weekday. By the way, in the classic channel, my original YouTube channel, we're uploading 2 videos a day now, a show and tell video and a CPU, Chris Perillo's Universe. Fun stuff happening all around. I'm streaming this live to my patrons. I have to watch out though because YouTube's broadcasting tool is causing my video feed to go black every so often. I think it is contesting the fact that I'm now wearing this shirt here from shop.lockergnome.com for 6 days in a row. I stuck it in my swash machine, though. That's a wonderful gadget, let me tell you. Smells nice and fresh. I can do that because I can. Today's question is, what are the best magazines? I'm still a fan of magazines. In fact, I remember when I was a kid, I used to sell magazines as part of a school revenue generation project. It was a lot of fun, although I knew a lot of the magazines that I was selling just didn't interest me at all. There wasn't, at that point in time, to my knowledge, a Star Wars magazine. So, yeah. Now there is a Star Wars magazine. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, there are 2 Star Wars magazines. I don't have a subscription to either. But all of that might change in the near future. I'm thinking about picking up a subscription. So the best magazines, and yes, I do believe there is still a place for magazines, are the magazines that fit you, that you look forward to receiving every single month. Who cares if the content's already online? Why do you love having that magazine? To me, it's, rekindling an interest, learning something new, having a printed page, sitting in front of me. And I know I'm the kind of guy who just does not like paper at all. One of my favorite magazines growing up, Omni. Omni was a fantastic magazine because it was so different and radical and about the closest thing that I could find to seeing any amount of interest in the pages, as far as magazines were concerned. To my knowledge, they no longer produce Omni. I never really got into Popular Science or anything like that, although you might note that this month's Popular Science cover has got a Lego minifigure on front. So I thought about picking up the issue just to see what was inside. I like learning new things. I like serendipity. And I think this is, to me, the best reason to have a magazine. Yes, there are times that I'm going to want to dive deep into a topic, say, like Star Wars. But other times, I want to spin around a topic and possibly discover things that I otherwise would have no idea even existed at all. I love serendipity, and magazines, to this point, have been a great collection of resources that could lead you to learning things about things, expanding your horizon on topics that you had no idea interested you at all. I am a huge fan of that. And I have to point out, did purchase a magazine this weekend. I did have a choice. I didn't have to purchase this magazine. No one told me to purchase the magazine. But I would consider this magazine that I'm about to show you the best magazine of all time. Okay? This is the best magazine as far as I'm concerned. Agree or disagree? I'd be curious to know if you agree or disagree, actually. And if you disagree, you have to tell me what the best magazine of all time is. This is probably the best issue of the best magazine of all time. Any guesses? Unless you fast forwarded it. Mad Magazine! Of course! This is the current issue on newsstands. And here's what caught my eye. It wasn't even the cover. It says Lego on top, and then House of Cards, which, by the way, today Sesame Street released a parody of House of Cards. Genius! It was awesome. I love it. It's destined to become a classic. Just like Mad Magazine is a classic. In fact, the upcoming issue of Mad Magazine, I don't have a current subscription. I just kind of let it lapse. I had a subscription at one point in time. I used to read Mad Magazine when I was a kid. My first issue had In Banana Jones on the cover. In Banana Jones. Weird Al Yankovic's the guest editor in an upcoming issue this spring. I will be getting that issue as well. So, yes, they are going to be lampooning Star Wars. This is the new Stormtrooper design from Episode 7. I am mad for Mad Magazine. As far as I'm concerned, each one of these issues is a classic. It's timeless. Am I going to learn anything new from this? No. But since when would I not want to laugh? I want to know that every time I pick up an issue, I'm going to giggle. And I love it when they're covering topics that are current and certainly relevant to me. I love that. And of course, the Mad fold in the back, which I never want to use because I don't want to damaged the back cover. I want it clean and everything. Look at this. You even have advertisements in the back for the nine least popular Google searches of 2014. No, that's not an ad. It looks like the ads at the back of a magazine, doesn't it? I love Mad. So the best magazines are the ones that you love to pick up. The best magazines are the ones that may teach you about something, expand your horizons in some way, shape, or form. And I'd even go as far as to say I wouldn't learn anything from Mad, but I have expanded my horizons. Because as I've gone through and maybe read a strip or two, I'm like, I don't understand what this reference is. I don't get it. Like, that's how I watched The Godfather. There are so many Godfather references in pop culture, not due to Mad Magazine. But by not watching that movie, or the series of movies, really, mostly the first one, I would have missed out on so many inside jokes. And so the best reason to have exposed or expanded my horizons, exposed myself to new frontiers, is to make me, not necessarily a better person, more well-rounded. Because, see, if I wasn't into Lego or, House of Cards, I'm not into Two Broke Girls. I don't know if I'm going to get into it at all. But maybe I'd be interested. What's this about? Can I catch an episode online? What is compelling about this? Would I be interested? Possibly. So, magazines serve a purpose. Sometimes it's filled with amazing stories. Sometimes it's filled with discoveries that you otherwise would never have known about. But there's still absolutely a value to magazines. I would be very, very sad if at any point in the future, the format of a magazine disappeared, online or offline. I'm still very much a fan of the physical magazine, though. Probably more so than the digital version. We actually had a conversation about this on my Facebook page over the weekend when I posted the screenshot of or a picture of this magazine in a comic. It was the other one. It was for Star Wars comics. Someone had suggested that they weren't getting the comic books physically. They just bought the digital version. That's what they prefer. And I don't mind digital versions at all if I have a physical version. And I realize that I can't always be where the physical version is versus the digital version, but I always worry about licensing when it comes to digital versions of anything. Like, what if my subscription lapses, or the company goes away, or it doesn't update its technology? I'll lose access to all that amazing stuff. Versus print magazines, well, as long as you keep them in good condition, they'll be around for the foreseeable future. I probably still have my original Mad magazine somewhere. My first Mad magazine that I ever had. And that was I think it was 99 cents. Cheap! These days, let's see what the price, $5.99 for an issue of Mad magazine. And you know what? When they lampoon Star Wars and Lego in the same issue, sign me up. I'm very much looking forward to the Weird Al Yankovic issue, which I believe is the next one that is going to be released this year. Yeah, so there's that's what I wanted to talk about. With as many people that go gaga over digital copies of this, that, and the other thing, I still think there's an extreme value to not just magazines for what they are as a format, but also the physical variety of magazines. And I bet you didn't think I'd ever say something like that, because I don't like paper. I hate clutter. Don't like it at all. Thank God I can keep my magazines organized in a magazine rack, which I don't yet have. So, that's the answer to the question. Thank you for asking. If you have any other questions, or if you don't like the questions that I'm answering, well, it's up to you. Ask a question that I can answer. Today's TLDR is actually going to be full of them. We do 2 AMAs every week. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm answering too many questions. Nah, no such thing. At this point, however, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.